What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to an episode of Riff Revival episode 4. So this week's episode is going to be a little less in depth. We're going to focus more on the progress that I made on the songwriting. I haven't programmed anything yet, but we do have some guitars tracked and kind of just workshopping some ideas. One of my favorite bands is the Contortionist, and one of my favorite albums by them is Language. I really love that album. So this section's a little bit inspired by that album. I just love the whole aesthetic and vibe of that album. It's a masterpiece. I didn't rip them off, but I do feel like some of these riffs that I came up with for this part, you'll be able to tell. So in the third episode, we kind of took a left turn and went heavy. And now on this episode, we're taking another turn somewhere and we're going back to melodic, but it's different. The key and the time signature is a little bit weird, but I think it's cool. You heard that clip in the beginning of the video. That's basically what I came up with so far, but I'll go through and I'll run through the guitar parts that I thought of for it. So this first part right here, this my idea behind that was I need a transition, because the song goes hard all the way through and I need some sort of like changing key sort of thing. I gotta plug my guitar up. So for that section, we have it's really simple. We're going from so the reason why it sort of makes sense is because we're coming from it's not really in key, but it kind of is. And then the lead over it is. We'll go back here and solo that out. I think I used 2 different tones on that. You can't tell in the mix though. So for that next section, it's like a clean thing. So what I did for that was basically just use that chord. Okay, so that part is like a finger picking part. That is basically what I have on the underlining part. And then I have sort of like a clean lead over the top of that. The first one sounds like this. It repeats, but the thing about it is it changes up at the later half. I'll show you that in a minute, but the second guitar part over that is going to be a sort of clean lead. Okay, so that last half right here, it changes key. Right there, that note. But it sounds cool all together. But yeah, as you can see, it took me multiple tries to get this. I'm not perfect. Right here. Love that. Okay, so for that build up, I wanted something sort of, and this is very contortionist, but there's like progressive sort of. Man, I don't know if that sounded good, but I got it, I think. Okay, so anyways, that's the riff. We may change tones there for the build up or whatever. What I was thinking for after this, the drums are doing something off time here when it comes back in. There's that, and then there's synth behind all of that. The whole section that we just did, it's got synth all over it. I'm gonna play it with the bass because I think the bass allows you to keep track of what's going on. Ooh, love that. All of this is going to be really fun to program on guitar just because there's so much nuance in everything that I'm doing with the little solo clean lead right here. And then the finger picking thing, I'm not sure how I'm going to achieve that with the program guitar, but we're gonna give it our best shot. Yeah, so that's going to be really fun and interesting to program on guitar, but I think we can do it. But for this section after this, I wanted to add synth to it, sort of like a build up into the next part. Oh yeah, that works. That works. So we're basically just using that chord that we've been using this entire song. If you've been watching the series, you know that that is a reoccurring chord in the entire song. And that part too. This chord's just showing up everywhere, and it works for the synth too. With this synth part, it's good that we're spending so much time on it because what I found out was there are some cool chords underneath all of that, off of the... They sort of work together. Do a synth chord with, and then so those notes correspond with the second chord, which is, and then the third chord is, which will be the third chord. I just have to transpose those three chords onto the synth and it should work. So what I'm doing is I'm taking the crash cymbal and I'm replacing it with a hi-hat, and then I'm taking the snare and actually making it on time, and then taking the ghost notes and turning them into kick hits. It's a weird way of doing it, but it works. It's still giving you that same feel. It's just replacing some of the hits with other parts of the kit. That's a good little technique to have in your pocket for if you're stumped on a drum part and you don't know what to program next. Just start taking some of the stuff you've already programmed and replace it with a different part of the kit. Sometimes it's not going to work. It's not going to translate well, but for this, it seems like it's working. Okay, I got an idea. One more thing. We're going to take the bass and we're going to just emphasize the kick hit, like the kick and the bass. Dun, 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 dun. I'll show you what I mean. Hold on. It's very Plini, sort of contortionisty to do that. I think it goes. Now I'm debating on whether I should emphasize it on guitar too. It's sort of like how Plini does, like what we just did. Besides the very ugly sounding chugs there, I think it sounds pretty cool. Just editing this guitar, it sounds very sloppy. That sounds so goofy slowed down. That sounds terrible. So glad it doesn't actually sound like that. All right, so here we go. From the end of the section where right before we started writing more. Okay, after hearing it all together, I dig it. I was actually very concerned right before I went to bed last night and I was tracking this. I was very scared that it was going to suck. I was like, oh my God, I don't have a video for Monday. Like, I don't know if what I wrote is any good and I don't want it to suck. So I'm pretty happy with it though. I think it's definitely taken a different turn than I normally would do, but I'm very happy with how it turned out. I love the direction of it. I do have another idea of what can come after this, like a build up sort of towards the end. And I'm stoked for it. I hope you guys like it. Let me know in a comment below what you guys think about this week's session, what you liked about it, what you didn't like about it. Just let me know in a comment. All right, guys, that's going to be it for today's writing session on Riff Revival episode 4. I know it's been a short episode. It's because I tracked a lot of this stuff off camera because I was having a hard time finding out what to do next. In my songwriting, I kind of like to go off on an adventure and do whatever I want, but I know sometimes I have to stick to that rule of verse, chorus, which I don't typically like to do. I know it makes for a better song and it helps tie things together, be cohesive. I was thinking of a way to tie this song together with the elements that are already in the beginning of the song. But with this key change and all this new stuff happening in this episode, it was really hard for me to kind of tie everything from the beginning of the riff because it almost sounds like two different songs. We're going to try to come back around and bring some of that stuff in the beginning of the song back, if possible. What do you guys think? So let me know in a comment. Let me know if I should bring some of the elements from the beginning of the song back or if I should just go off on an adventure and end the song epically. But yeah, again, this song will have vocals on it. It'll be finished production and everything. We're nearing the very end of this track. It's around 3 minutes right now. We're probably going to do around 3.5 to 4 minutes for this song. Try not to go over that. But we're not going to stop there because as soon as this song ends, we're going to begin the next riff writing episode and build that song to a complete song. But in the meantime, we'll kind of put a hold on this song until everything's ready to go for it. Like we have to have Luke write the drums. We got to have Sarah write the lyrics and all that kind of stuff. So that stuff's going to take some time to do. We're going to keep everything moving seamlessly so that we can keep working on riffs. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you're not subscribed, please do that. It helps me out a lot. My YouTube channel and my Instagram have kind of been in like this weird meta stronghold where I can't really grow. So do me a favor, guys, and help me out. I'm trying to build the series into something awesome. You can also catch me on YouTube and Twitch streaming this Wednesday around 7:30 p.m. I'll be continuing the writing process for this song. I have another awesome sort of cover idea that I've been working on, and I'm not going to say anything just yet. Be on the lookout for that video. But yeah, it's been fun, and I'll catch you on the next one. That's it.